We'll start at the front of the mat. Feet together, big toes touching, heels slightly apart, hands resting in prayer position in front of your heart. Closing your eyes, feel the breath move naturally in and out of your nostrils. Feel the ground push up against your feet as your weight naturally presses down onto the ground through gravity. Take this time to really be here. Whatever your to-do lists are, leave them until the end of this class. Just let your mind be free and focus on the breath. Release your hands and swing your arms back and forth, switching left over right, right over left. And now take your right hand around in a circle, warming up the shoulder joint, back to front, front to back, and now switch over to the left side. Circle your arm around, just warming up those joints. Make sure you switch directions if you haven't. And on an inhale, bring your hands up above your head and bring your left hand, clasp your right wrist and stretch over to the left. Push your right shoulder open so you can get an extra stretch opening your heart. And on an inhale, switch over to the right side, clasping your left wrist with your right hand. Make sure you're opening up your left chest to keep your heart open, and slowly release your hands. Inhale, bring your arms up above your head, and now push your arms backward, kind of pulsing them back, keeping them straight, really warming up those shoulders and the muscles at the top of your back. And bring your hands now to the back and clasp your hands together. You can either have your wrists touching in a clasp, or you can have your wrists slightly apart as your fingers interlace together. As you open your heart, clasping your arms, bringing your hands down your legs, opening up the heart slightly. And now going back to warming up those shoulders. Inhale and bring your arms straight up over your head and pulse them backwards. And exhale, fold forward, keeping a straight back and keeping your arms straight. You're going to clasp your hands behind your back again, just like we just did. Push your shoulder blades down as you press up for a nice little stretch in the front shoulders, combining with the hamstrings. Just relax, let yourself hang there. Release your hands. You can stay in the forward fold with your legs straight or slightly bent. On an inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands down and step your right foot back, then your left foot back, going into a plank and then tabletop. With your toes tucked, slowly walk your hands back. You can walk your hands backward and open the heart once more. If that's not in your practice, go ahead and stay up on your toes. And as you're sitting on your toes, feel the stretch on the bottom of your feet. You can move your hips around in circles. You can shift back and forth, feeling the weight on your toes. Now lean your head slightly to the right and feel a gentle stretch on the left side, and slightly to the left, feeling a gentle stretch on the right side of the neck. You can use your hand for a gentle extra support, and roll it back from the right side to the left and then to the front. Once more, going around to the back, toward the right, and back to center. Raise both of your arms up over your head and bring your left hand down by your left foot and slowly walk your fingers over, stretching out the right side body. Make sure you're pulling your right shoulder backward, keeping your chest open. On an inhale, bring your left hand back up and switch to the right side, stretching out the left side body. Inhale and come up. Exhale, bringing your hands back in front of you to untuck your toes and come sitting on your toes, feeling the opposite stretch on your feet. And you can take a back bend here, open your heart with your fingertips behind your hips. And now you're going to clasp your hands in front of you with your right thumb in the front and make circles with your hands going around to the right. Just one direction for now. Slowly release your hands, clasp them behind you again, open the heart and lean forward as possible. Just for a few breaths here. You can move your arms around in circles behind you, tiny movements. Just feel out your body. Feel what you need, see what feels good, and slowly rise back up, opening up the heart, releasing the hands. And now clasp your hands together once more with the opposite. So your left thumb in front of your right, circles to the left, so opposite circles, still one direction. And now do figure eights with your wrist, if that's what calls to you. And slowly bring your hands back in front of you and come into a tabletop position. Wrists under your shoulders, the bottom of your rib cage pulled together, zipped together. Now you're going to lift your right hand off the floor about a centimeter. Now observe the weight shifting into your left palm and into both of your knees. As you raise your right arm in front of you, try to keep the weight equal among the 3 points that are on the ground. Slowly lower your right and gently raise your left hand. Feel the weight, even the weight out, distribute it, and raise your left hand forward, warming up the shoulder, and slowly bring it down. And from here, we're going to go into cat-cow. So exhale, round out your back. Follow the breath. Inhale, arching the back. And exhale. One more. Inhale. And you can take any other variation you want. You can rotate your hips around. Really feel out every nook and cranny here. We're just warming up. We're just getting a feel for our body and how it feels today. So move the way you want, either cat-cow or your variation, or maybe just tabletop position if that's what calls to you today. And whenever you're ready, tuck your toes underneath and push yourself up into your first downward facing dog. Here in downward facing dog, you can circle your hips, create figure eights. Maybe you want to walk your dog, bending your right knee, your left knee, maybe waving your back, front and back. Again, we're just feeling into our body, finding what feels good to us today. Now raise your right leg behind you, keeping it straight into three-legged dog. Open that right hip and kick back your right foot as much as possible. And actively, as your right leg is pushing back, square your right shoulder back down, looking under your left arm for support to help you strengthen that twist. Lower your right leg and raise your left leg up. Open up your left hip and push backward. Try to keep your left leg as straight as possible, squaring out the top of your left shoulder as much as possible. And bring your leg back down. On an inhale, bring your right foot forward. Follow it with your left foot. and forward fold all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come all the way up, running your fingertips up your thighs to the bottom of your back, gently pushing forward to make room for a heart opener. Exhale, run your fingers down your hamstrings as you go into a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, run your fingers back down into full forward fold, warming up the hamstrings. Inhale, run your fingers up your legs and come back into a gentle push forward for a heart opener. And on an exhale, run your fingers back down your hamstrings, your calves to hug your legs. Keep your back straight as you come into forward fold. On an inhale, look forward, halfway lift. And exhale, bring your hands to your hips. Look ahead of you. Keep that halfway lift. So you're going to be using the strength of your lower back and slowly bring your hands up in front of you, creating a number 7 kind of. So here you're using the power of your hamstrings to keep you up halfway, your lower back to keep you up, and your shoulders are working to keep your arms up. Keep breathing, breathe through it, and slowly relax, release down into a frontward fold. Inhale, look up, and exhale, jump or step back into a plank. Come down all the way onto your chest and your stomach, and rise up into a baby cobra. Slowly bring your head back down. Rise up again into a midway sized cobra. Breathe here, and on an exhale, lower yourself down. Now tuck your back toes and push yourself back up into downward facing dog. Raise your right leg behind you into a 3-legged dog, and bring your right foot in between your 2 hands, setting up for a low lunge. Untuck your back toe and peel your belly away from your thigh, keeping those muscles engaged, and bring your hands above your head, really feeling a stretch into the left hip flexor. You can clasp your hands here, keeping the index fingers pointed, and lean over to the right side, getting that stretch in your left side body. On an exhale, bring your hands down. Inhale, step your foot back and come back into downward facing dog. On an inhale, raise your left foot into downward facing dog. And bring your left foot in between your 2 hands, setting up for a low lunge on the left side. Untuck your back toe. Clasp your hands together if you wish. And lean over to your left side, feeling a stretch in your right side body, extending all the way into your hip flexor. On an exhale, lower your hands on either side of your left foot. Inhale, step the foot back, and exhale, come back into downward facing dog. Inhale, come up onto your toes. Exhale, look where you jump, bend your knees, and jump, float, or step up into half forward fold. Exhale into full forward fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive all the way up. Hands meeting at the top, and bring your hands down to your side into Samastiti. Breathe here, just reset. Feel your weight on your feet into the floor. You can sway back and forth. Just reset your body. Inhale your hands up above your head and exhale, swan dive into standing forward fold. Back straight as you lift up into halfway. Exhale down into a chaturanga or cobra if you wish, upward facing dog. Use your core to pull your hips up into downward facing dog. Now raise your right leg up behind you for three-legged dog. And draw your right knee in between your front hands, coming into a crescent lunge. Try to push the back of your left knee up. Zip the bottom rib cage together. Keep your core engaged, your legs engaged. And slowly bring your hands down onto either side of your right leg. Exhale into chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale using the core, coming into downward facing dog. Inhale into three-legged dog on your left side. Exhale, draw your left knee into the center and step it down in between your two hands. Inhale, come up into crescent lunge. Here in crescent lunge, you're going to scissor your hips, so make sure that your right hip is twisting forward and your left hip is pushing back to keep a square in your hips. On an exhale, lower your hands, coming into chaturanga. Maybe your foot stays lifted. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a few breaths here. Now inhale, your right leg comes up into three-legged dog. Draw your right knee up into the middle of your chest and hold your right knee here. Remember cat pose. So round out the top of your back. Keep your leg forward using your core to keep your knee afloat. On an inhale, bring your right leg back into three-legged dog. And exhale, right knee comes to right triceps as high as possible. Use your core, keep your thigh up. Inhale again into three-legged dog and exhale, touch the left tricep with your right knee as high as possible. Inhale, three-legged dog once more and exhale, release. Inhale as you come up onto your toes. Exhale, bend your knees and hop, step, or float up to halfway forward fold. Exhale, full forward fold. And inhale, reverse swan dive all the way up, hands coming to the top, and draw back down to Samastiti. Inhale, hands up above your head, and swan dive all the way down to full forward fold. Inhale, halfway fold. Exhale, jump or step back into chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog, pulling your chest open. Exhale, use your core to draw your hips up and back into downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg comes up into three-legged dog. Exhale, draw the knee in between your two hands and come up into crescent lunge on the left side. Exhale as you come forward, swinging your hands behind you all the way to your hips, and hold there, using your left leg to keep you stable. Use your left glute to keep you in that position. And inhale, back up into crescent lunge. Exhale, come forward, arms strong behind you. Inhale, coming back up. Exhale, down. Inhale, come up one more time. Lower your right hand on the inside of your left leg and come up to a twisted lunge on the left. And on an exhale, bring the hand back down. Step your left leg back. Exhale. Inhale into upward facing dog, and exhale using the core, push back up into downward facing dog. Now inhale, three-legged dog on the right side. Draw your knee forward and in between your shoulders as you come up into crescent lunge on the left side. In crescent lunge, make sure that your back knee is pushing up, your left ankle, your back knee is pushing up, your rib cage is zipped together on the inside. Engage that core as you swing your arms forward and come into those forward swipes that we did on the left side. Exhale, the hands behind you. Inhale as you rise up. Exhale as you come down. Inhale as you bring the hands up, arms straight and strong. Exhale, hands behind. Inhale, up one more time. And exhale to charging warrior with airplane arms. Lower your left arm and use your right hand to twist your upper body to the right side, opening up your chest for a twisted lunge. On an exhale, bring your hand down onto the right side of your right leg and come into chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Rise onto your toes on an inhale. Exhale, jump, walk, or float up to the top of your mat. Full forward fold and reverse swan dive back up. Trace the back of your legs once more to come down into forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, jump, step, or float into plank position. Stay in plank for one breath. And on an exhale, push back into downward facing dog once more. Inhale, bring your left leg up into three-legged dog. Activate that left glute muscle. And on an exhale, bring your left knee up into your chest like we did on the right side. Feel the contraction going on between your core and your thigh. On an inhale, press back up into three-legged dog. Exhale, bring the knee over to your left tricep as high as possible. Hold there for a breath. And exhale, three-legged dog. Inhale, draw your left knee over to your right tricep. Hold for a second, using your core. And an inhale brings you up to three-legged dog. Exhale, release your leg. And lower your knees down for child's pose. Rest, relax, really let go here in child's pose. Allow your muscles to recenter, come back to your breath, check in with your breath. And when you're ready, and if you want, we're going to come into extended puppy pose. Try to keep your elbows off of the mat, and if you want an extra stretch for your shoulders, you can come up to your fingertips, creating a little tent with your hands. Make sure you're feeling the stretch up in your shoulders and in your chest. This is really good for opening up your heart as well. Find what feels good, and when you're ready, lower onto your forearms and lower your chin as you lay down. Slowly raise your head using the muscles of your back And slide your arms forward so that your elbows are right underneath your shoulders, and push up into Sphinx position. And now from here, feel your elbows energetically and isometrically pulling back as you're activating those muscles. Exhale, lower down. Draw your hands together underneath your shoulders to come up to a full cobra. And tuck your toes underneath to come into a downward facing dog. On an inhale, bring your right leg up for three-legged dog, and exhale, draw your right knee in between your hands once again. Lower your left knee, untuck your left toe, and lift your belly up from your thighs, slowly walking your fingertips back into a deep hip flexor stretch. Bring your left hand onto your left hip to gently square out your hips. Make sure your rib cage is drawing forward and together. Feel that stretch on your left thigh. And slowly lower your hands back to the outside of your foot. Scoot your left knee back a little bit more and shift the weight back into Ardha Hanumanasana, half splits. Make sure you draw your right hip back, left hip forward. Your left hip is above your left knee, creating a right angle. And feel the stretch on your right hamstring as you reach forward. Keep the back straight as you scissor your hips to square them to the front of the room. On an inhale, re-bend the right knee. Come back into low lunge. And now bring your right hand inside of your right leg. And you can't see it here, but you're going to open up your right knee to get a good hip opening stretch. If you want, you can lift the inside of your right foot. So weight is going onto the edge of your right foot only as you push, gently push out your right knee to feel a stretch. And now you're going to bring your hands back down. And you can either lower as much as possible or come onto your forearms to feel a deeper stretch in the hips. Make sure you're breathing here. Check in with your breath. Observe it. How is your body feeling today? On an inhale, you're going to rise up and pivot your left foot and turn your body to your left side. And you can stay right here with your butt up, or if you have that flexibility in your hips, come into a full ninja pose. Slowly walk over to the left side, coming into ninja or higher if you need it. Pose onto your left side, opening up the hips once more. And slowly walk your hands over to the left side, now facing the back of your room, to the back of your mat. And lower your right knee into another low lunge. Untuck your right toe. And you can lift your torso up if that's what's calling to you, or you can just stay. Feel the stretch in the hip flexors. Tuck your bottom ribs inward. Square your hips out. Gently push your right hip forward as you pull your left hip back, squaring out the hips. Feel the stretch in your hip flexors, the front of your thigh. Scoot your right knee back a bit and tuck your right toe under as you come into half splits, stretching out the left hamstring. Again, make sure you're leaning with your chest, keeping your back straight. You can come up onto your knees, you can come up onto your fingertips. To intensify the stretch, pull back with your toes on the left side. Really feel the stretch in your left hamstring. Stay here for a couple breaths. breathe through it. Let go of any gripping sensations. You can move your hips from side to side, creating a little gentle, dynamic movement in your stretch. On an inhale, re-bend your left knee and come back into a low lunge. Now bring your left hand onto the inside of your left leg and gently open up your left hip again, coming onto the edge of your left foot as you gently push out your left knee. Open up that hip. On an inhale, come back up into lizard. You can stay in high lizard or low with your forearms on the ground if that's what's calling to you today. On an inhale, bring your hands under your shoulders once more. Now pivot your right heel back and come into a wide-legged forward fold. First, come into halfway, wide-legged forward fold. Look forward, bring your hands to your hips, and slowly, using your hamstrings and your glute muscles, draw yourself back up. In a wide-legged stance, bend your knees and come into goddess pose. Your toes and your knees should be facing the same direction. Try to come as low as possible, keeping your legs parallel to the floor. Now on an inhale, bring your arms up over your head. Arms can be straight or fingers can interlace. And really feel your hips sinking into goddess pose. And draw your hands together. Inhale, arms up, back into the goddess pose. And from here, you can take any arm variation that you want. Feel into your body. Listen to where the music is in your heart and move with it. Inhale, straighten your legs, point your toes forward, and on an exhale with a straight back, lean forward into a wide-legged forward fold. Feel the pull with your chest and not your head as you keep your back straight. Inhale, look forward halfway. On an exhale, bring your heels in more and come into a low goddess pose, as low as you possibly can with your hips open. And now when you're here, heel toe your feet just wider than hip width apart and bring your hands together at your chest using your elbows to push your knees out into Malasana. If this is easy for you and you want a little bit more of a challenge, you can push your hips out so they're higher up off the floor. But if you want, just stay where you are. Now you're going to take your peace fingers and wrap them around your toes and lift your hips just enough so that you can move your legs. With your peace fingers wrapped around your toes, you're going to walk yourself forward to the front of your mat. Oh yeah, hip flexors. Definitely feel it in the quads. Come back into Malasana, garland pose, and gently lower your butt down into a seat. Draw your knees to your chest as you bring your feet closer to your butt. Draw your chest closer to your thighs. Slowly round out your back as you roll gently, gently, as slow as possible onto your back. Now from here, you're going to lift your right knee into your chest. Oops, and a sneeze. Lift your right knee into your chest. Pull your knee into your chest with your hands and shift your knee out to the right side, still holding with both of your hands. This is also called the wind removing pose, as it encourages emptying of the colon. Switch your legs. First, bringing your left knee into the center of your chest and then letting it fall outward, pulling in still with your hands. Keep your right leg straight, touching the floor with toes pointed to encourage an internal rotation. Slowly release your left leg. Now bring your knees together and come into happy baby. Just a gentle hip opening again. Try to keep your back flat on the ground and reach your tailbone to the ground too, trying to keep everything flat. Release your happy baby, but keep your hands and your legs off the floor and straight as you come into a V position, holding here with your back flat, everything in contact with the floor except your arms and your legs. Breathe here and release. Draw your knees toward your nose, nose toward your knees, and relax, release, let go. So here we're going to set up for a couple quick bridges. Make sure you can kind of touch your heels with the tips of your fingers and raise your hips using the back of your body. Now hold this bridge, feeling the muscles of your hamstrings, your glutes, and your thighs engage, chin drawing away from the chest as you create space underneath your body. Slowly release, let go. And release your knees, let them fall toward each other and windshield wipe them to release any tension that's in the lower back from that bridge. And going into the second bridge, you can hold here or you can clasp your hands underneath you and walk your shoulders closer together to create more space for that back bend. Chin is away from the chest. Glutes are working, squeezing to keep your lower body up into that bridge position. And release slowly. Knees fall together and windshield wipe. Bring your legs back to the center and draw the bottoms of your feet together for a quick reclined butterfly position. Breathe into that passive stretch on your hips. And on an inhale, bring your legs back together. Raise your right leg and cross it over your left. Raise your hips with your left leg and place it slightly to the right as you twist over to the left. Hands out by your side. Gaze falls to the right side. Try to keep your right shoulder touching the floor as you're in this twist. And just breathe and relax through it. If this variation of a twist isn't what your body is calling for today, you can take any twist that you like or no twist at all. Come back to center, uncross your legs, and lift your left leg over your right. Shift your hips over to the left and let your legs drop over to the right side as you look over the left. Arms out by your side, left shoulder still on the floor. Come back to center and bring your knees together into your chest, making circles one way and the next. And now come back into happy baby position. This time we're holding it longer. In this happy baby, you can straighten your legs, walk it out, or you can just stay in your happy baby. And while you're in happy baby, curl the corners of your lips upward into a smile. We are in happy baby, not sad baby or tired baby. Slowly release your hands and your legs to come into your final resting position, Shavasana. Release, let go. Feel the effects and the benefits of your practice. Slowly come back to your breath. Notice it coming in and coming out. Wiggle your toes and your fingers, bringing movement back into your body. You can roll your wrists, roll your ankles to wake your body back up. And reach up above your head and stretch like you just woke up from the best nap ever. Roll on over onto your right side and stay there, using your arms as a pillow in fetal position, just feeling the safety, the strength, the security of the ground, of the earth. Push up with your left arm into a seated position. Keeping your eyes closed, you can do one last rounding of the back and rolling of the neck in the right direction and in the left. With your eyes closed still, bring your hands up to your heart in prayer position. And now rub your hands together, create energy, friction, heat. On an inhale, bring your hands to hovering right above your face to feel the energy and the heat you just created. And spread that energy now over your head, all over your body, your arms, your chest, your stomach, your hips, your thighs, your toes, your back, shoulders, neck. Rub your hands once again, and on an inhale, bring your hands to hover above your face. And slowly draw your hands away. Gently rest your hand above your forehead, resting your thumbs right where your third eye would be, so that we may think kind thoughts. And draw your thumbs above your lips, so that we may speak kind words. And now draw your thumbs right above your heart so that we may live and love with kind intentions. The divine in me sees, hears, and honors the divine in you. Namaste.
Thank you so much for sharing this practice with me, for allowing me to express my love and share my gifts and my passion with you through my YouTube channel, through this amazing platform that we have. I really appreciate you guys taking this time to, again, practice with me and flow with me. If you have any suggestions or comments or anything that I can work on, anything that you want to see, let me know in the comments below. Don't be scared. Just let a girl know. I plan on making a lot more of these, and by you telling me, giving me your honest feedback, it'll really help me improve myself and these videos for you guys so that you can enjoy the practice with me as well. Anyway, I just want to express my gratitude for you being here on this channel, and not just being here on my channel, but also practicing yoga for yourself, for your body, for your heart, because when you change your world, you are better equipped to change other people's world, and to one person that is their entire world. And so I guess in a long-winded way of saying, by changing your world, by improving your world, you are shaping the world as you know it. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. Again, leave me your comments down or comment suggestions, any feedback, really, anything constructive would really help me, and I would absolutely appreciate that so much. Yeah, let me know in the comments below, and I will get to those for the next upcoming ones. Anyway, I hope you guys are having a wonderful morning, noon, day, or night, wherever you are, and I'll see you next time. Bye! I also forgot to say that if you like this yoga video and if you like seeing this kind of content as well as ideas for eating vegan, because I do post a lot of what I eat in a day videos as well as vlogs and just like a healthy wellness lifestyle, make sure you subscribe if you haven't. Like this video. Again, with the comments, you guys already know the drill. Anyway, yeah, I always forget to do that YouTube plug. Apparently it's important. Just, I guess, to remind you, like, hey, make sure you're following. But other than that, have a wonderful day. Okay, bye. I love you guys.